1 minute, folks, getting started. 1 minute. Good morning, everyone. This is Coach Lewis checking into you live from my super secret Corona-free wrestling room here in Southeast Pennsylvania. Wanted to get started today with my first of these kind of wrestling lessons. The lesson of today is going to be called Slow is Smooth, Smooth is Fast. Really want to break down why we have position, why we want our position to be perfect through our transitions, which is really what we call technique. I really kind of build off of these three pillars of position, strength, and technique. So today the kind of plan is we're going to get a nice little warm-up in. I don't know what your wrestling room situation is. Today I'm going to be working here in the wrestling room. Later this week I will show you how do we build a wrestling room in our house. I've been going around my house, racking my brain, trying to figure out how to help you guys out there. So later this week, I'm going to show you how to build a wrestling mat. I'm going to show you how to build your wrestling dummy. We're going to move around the house and use our homes just like we would use our wrestling rooms. If we look around and get really creative, we can see that there's a lot of things that we can use even if we don't have a wrestling partner. So that's going to be for later this week. So right now, I want you guys to get your wrestling notebooks out. First thing we're going to start with is a little bit of a warm-up. If you have a jump rope, you can grab your jump rope. If you don't have a jump rope, we're going to start with some jumping jacks. So let's just get this warm-up going, guys. Get our bodies moving, get our blood flowing, and we can get started today. So the first thing we want to get going, want to start moving our body, get some jumping jacks going. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. All right, so now we're gonna do some burpees, all right? As we do our burpees, we're gonna add in a mountain climber, all right? So here's how it's gonna look. We're gonna go down, feet go back, mountain climber, jump. That'll be 1, all right? So ready? Down, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's get some push-ups in, warm up our arms. Let's get 10 of these good ones. Head up, chest up, looking right at me. Down, 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 down. Good. Let's get some sit-ups. Up, 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 up. All right, so it's very important that as we warm up, kind of warm up our bodies from our eyelids down to our toenails. So to make sure we get on our heads, if you're in your living rooms, okay, be nice and gentle getting on the floor. Start rolling out our necks, front to back. Try and get the back of your head all the way to the floor. Try and put your chin all the way to the floor. Now, go side to side. Get your left ear on the mat. Get your right ear on the mat. Get all 4 corners. Good, now we're gonna flip over. Right here. So, plant your feet into the mat. I want you to try and get your hips high to the ceiling as you can. Once you get your hips up high, I want you to take 1 step closer to your butt with each of your feet. So go 1, 2, nice and tight in here. Trying to get our hips up. Hands going on the mat. Let's extend right here and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. Now keep rolling out your necks, back of your head. Trying to get to your chin, ear to ear. Ready, once again, we're gonna push and hold. Push and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. Good. All right, so next most important part of your warm-up. I promise you this, you do not want to injure your intercostal muscles here on your rib cage. You will be out for 4 to 6, maybe 8 weeks, and nothing will be funny because every time you laugh it hurts. So let's make sure we get our ribs nice and loose. I like to put my elbow crease right on my head, and I pull down on my arm nice and tight, trying to extend my elbow out through the wall. Pull, pull, pull. Good. You should feel that stretch all the way down to your hip. Other side. Pull. Good. Swing out your arms. Good. Now, get down here. Get touching to our toes. Make sure we get our backs nice and stretched out. You want to keep your legs straight, heels together, toes together, locked out here. Trying to push our hips back at first, trying to get our hands to the mat. Now, we can lean our hips forward a little bit, get our weight out on our nose, out over our toes. All right, now we're going to try and reach out a little further. That'll stretch a different part of your back. Should feel that pull really low. Good. Now, reaching out right behind. Let's get our quads stretched out here. All right. Good, and switch. Make sure you get this stretched all the way through here, up through your hip. Good. All right, guys, 1 second here. So, now that I got you all warmed up, I want to make sure that we remember some of the things from our first lesson. So, this is a wrestling class. All right, we're going to be building on each lesson. And so, the first things that I want to talk about again are going to be the 7 basic skills. All right, so our 7 basic skills. Imagine you're starting off a wrestling match and you want to get out there and get wrestling, but you don't know what to do. This is how we're going to get started, all right? So, first things first, start with our stance, all right? Stance. Second basic skill is going to be motion. Our third basic skill is going to be our level change. All right? So, one second here, folks. All right. So, stance, motion, level change. All right, our first 3 basic skills of standing wrestling. Okay, we're getting into our stance. Remember, good wrestling position has 3 things. All right, butt down, head up, elbows in. All right, so for a good stance, for good position. All right, remember we have good versus unorthodox. Okay? We don't like to say bad position, all right, because you can always fix it, so it can't be that bad. The only bad position is the ones you don't score from, all right? So, we've got our butt down, head up, elbows in. As we're moving, butt down, head up, elbows in. This is our stance, okay? You should feel like you sat into a chair and somebody pulled it out from underneath you, all right? Imagine, I'm going to sit down in this little tiny chair right here, okay? And someone said, hey, Coach Lou, stand up for a sec. Get that thing out of here, all right? My stance is nice and low. My elbows are in, and when I'm on a wrestling mat, my feet never stop moving, guys. One thing to remember, whenever I'm in my stance, whenever I get on a wrestling mat, my feet never stop moving. All right, so we're gonna do this for 2 minutes. All right, we're still in our warm-up phase right now, trying to get our bodies ready to wrestle, trying to get our minds ready to think. All right, guys, it's very important to always have a good mindset, okay? Showing up to class, showing up to practice. It's a small amount of time that we're being asked to focus. So let's focus on the task at hand. All right, so right now we're focused on getting better at wrestling. Focusing on keeping my butt down. Keeping my chest open to the world. All right, keeping my elbows in. I want you to imagine that there's a line painted across your ceiling in red. All right, and it goes all the way around your room. So when you're in your stance, your eyes should be up, looking at that line the whole time as you move. All right, so working back through our lesson, our review from my first lesson. All right, break. Now, fourth skill, penetration. All right, our penetration step, vitally important. All right, we must take a big, deep, long penetration step, especially in practice. Next skill, body arch, lift, and back step. All right? So, remember guys, what we have here, 7 basic skills of standing wrestling. Okay? Stance. Back in your stance, guys. 2 more minutes, all right? 2 more minutes, back in your stance. I'm moving my feet, all right? Let's start adding in some more of these basic skills. So we're in our stance. We're moving, our butt's down, our head's up, and our elbows are in. That's going to show us that we're in good position, all right? Butt down, head up, elbows in. All right, our penetration steps. Big, deep penetration. I'm a left leg lead. My left leg comes forward. Right leg lead, guys. Big step. Right leg comes forward. Remember, when we take our penetration steps, we go knee over toe. Big step, knee over toe. Good. All right, guys, stay in your stance. We're moving. We're moving. We're circling. Okay? One thing that's important about the motion in your stance is that it must be fluid. You should feel like you're dancing. All right? If you're in your stance and you feel herky-jerky, right? You don't know what to do, slow it down. All right? Slow it down. So, stance, motion, level change. Remember, we change our levels. Our head stays up. All right? Head stays up, chest stays forward. Level change. Level change. Remember, when we want to touch our opponent, our right leg lead, guys, we reach with our left hand first. And when we reach, our elbow must stay down. All right? Whenever we're in wrestling position, good wrestling position, it requires us to keep our elbows down. When our elbows are down, we can defend. All right? When our elbows turn up, we've opened the door to attacks. All right? So remember that, guys. Just like you would lock your doors, you walk out of the house. All right? Lock your doors when you get in your stance. All right? We got 1 more minute of this. Let's keep our feet moving. Good penetration step. Knee over toe. Good. All right. Keep it moving. Big penetration step. Knee over toe. Good. Big penetration step. Knee over toe. Good. All right. Break, guys. So, let's talk a little bit about this lesson. All right. What does slow is smooth, smooth is fast mean? So what does that mean? So how do we know when you learn something as an athlete? So if you're out there and I say, what is 2 plus 2 equals? All right, now you should all be screaming at your TVs, 2 plus 2 equals 4. All right, but imagine if I put 2 plus 2 equals 3. And you would say, Coach Lou, this is wrong. 2 plus 2 does not equal 3. And I say, yeah, I know that. But how do you know that I know what 2 plus 2 equals? All right? So the only way that we know as a coach whether or not you learn is if you can reproduce what was asked. All right? So, learning. Is the process of reproducing information you already know. That's what learning is. If I tell you to keep your butt down, keep your head up, and keep your elbows in, but when you go out into your first match and you're wrestling like this, and you come off the mat and your coach goes, the guy kept getting to your legs because your elbows were out. And you say, Coach, I know I'm supposed to keep my elbows in. Coach is going to say, how do I know you know? You didn't show me. All right? So, when we want to get better, we have to focus on creating a picture in our mind of exactly what we want to do. All right? And that is where this kind of rule, this tenet of slow is smooth, smooth is fast really comes in. Because to know what you're trying to create, you must know why you're trying to create it. The first motion that we're going to learn today, the first kind of new technique that we're going to work on, that some of you may not know, is going to be called a swisher step. All right? So, right here, we're going to be working on our swisher step to start. Swisher step. Now I know we've got different terminology all over the country. Some of you guys may call this a windshield wiper. I'm not sure. I'm going to do this on my good side first. Left leg lead. Swisher step's going to be knee over toe penetration. Okay? Once we get to our penetration, we've got to find a way to create angles here. Head up, back straight, elbows in. Swisher step's going to be this motion here. All right? So what that looks like is big step, knee over toe, swish. All right? Big step, knee over toe, swisher step. Head up, back straight, elbows in. Now, how do we get that motion so quick? All right? Why do we do this motion? All right? The how, the why. All right? So, the how. The how of this swisher step is right leg lead, butt down, head up, elbows in. Nice big penetration step, knee over toe. As my knee hits the mat right here, hips come forward, all right? Anytime I get penetration and my knee hits the mat, my hips come forward. That allows me to keep good position while I'm wrestling, all right? Now, my trail leg. This is my drive leg. This is going to create the motion here. See how the side of my foot is in the mat? Learn to wrestle with your whole body, all right? So the side of my foot's in the mat. Imagine took a shot on my opponent here, okay? Side of my foot's going to push, and I'm going to rotate behind. There, all right? So, I want you guys in your stance, all right? Remember, slow is smooth, smooth is fast, all right? So we're working on this swisher step. We're going to go right leg lead, knee over toe, hips forward, all right? Once we're in this position, we're going to push off this back foot, swing behind, all right? You want to try and do this with no hands. So we're push, rotate, all right? If that's hard to go from one direction to the other, a whole 180 degrees, if that's difficult, start with a quarter turn, all right? So, in my stance, big penetration step, knee over toe, right here, all right? If this is too hard to go 180, do a 90-degree turn. Push, here, push, here, push, here, push, here. And we're rotating. See, both of my toes are in the mat as I do this. Push, rotate, all right? Trying to get that push foot behind us. Now, why? What is the why behind this, okay? What is this swisher step used for? So, whenever we take a shot, we want to create an angle on our opponent, which is going to allow us to score. So when we shoot, our swisher step is our secondary attack, all right? This is what is going to allow us to beat our opponent's first reaction to our shot. So, on your normal attack, all right, you're taking a shot here, you get to your single, you elevate off the mat, all right, you look to score. With our swisher step, you want to imagine a couple of things have happened. Either I've taken my swisher step on my sweep single, right leg lead, guys. Imagine right hand sweep here. I got to my right-handed sweep, and let's say this guy starts to sprawl away from me. All right, so I've got to keep my body position here so that he doesn't break my position down to here. All right, so to do that, if my opponent moves, I move with him. There. All right, that's going to allow me to stay tight. So imagine I take my shot, he redirects, I stay with him, I drive off this foot, getting up to my feet. Now, there is something here that's very important. All right, one thing that I like to talk about. There are some rules. There are rules to wrestling. All right. Now, if you want to be good at wrestling, you must follow the rules. Now, when I say follow the rules, it means this. To break the rules, you must know the rules. Okay? So, to break the rules, you must know them. And the only way that I know that you know them is if you do them all the time. So, here is rule number 1 for your takedown. You need to get takedown rules. If you have your notebooks, make sure this is going down here. All right, we've got our takedown rules. So remember, guys, we're talking about good versus unorthodox position. These rules are going to keep you in this good range. So number 1 is 2 hands to a leg. All right? Whenever I shoot, I want to get 2 hands to the leg. And then the second rule, the one thing that you will hear me say, or that your coach should be saying, anytime you get to a leg, all right? And I want you to only think one word, all right? So that one word, elevate, okay? So anytime I get to a leg, all right, I don't know what to do, all right? Anytime I get to a leg and I don't know what to do, what should your coach be telling you to do? He should be screaming at you. Elevate. Right? All we want to do is elevate. So, I get to my shot. All right? I take 2 hands to the leg as I shoot. Knee over toe penetration. All right? Head up. Chest, butt down. Chest up. Arms here. All right? 2 hands to the leg. And the first thing I need to do whenever I grab a leg is all right, guys, so we're working on our swisher step here. Knee over toe penetration, all right? Remember, my hips come forward as I shoot. I'm rotating off this back foot 180 degrees. So we're going to push and rotate, boom. And then we're going to elevate this foot off the mat by bringing our hands up and coming to our feet. All right, that's where we're going to stop the motion right now. That's going to be our drill. So remember, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So we're going to do this. We're going to do 15 of these. We're going to do 5 super slow, all right? You need to understand the position here, and your body needs to memorize it. So remember, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect, all right? Let's remember that, all right, guys? So perfect practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So, 5 times each, we're going to work on this swisher step. All right? Right leg lead, guys. Remember, every chance you get to work is a chance to get better and improve every part of your wrestling, including these 7 basic skills. All right? So I'm in my stance. Good penetration step, guys. Good penetration. Step, knee over toe. knee hits the mat, hips come forward, here. All right? This allows me to keep really good wrestling position once again. Now, a little trick here when I lock my hands on a leg, all right? This is the way that Coach Lou teaches it. Coach Baker teaches it. I know guys teach you to snake around the leg. My ideal wrestling position is to always keep my elbows in. This is my strength zone, all right? If someone had me hold out this water jug full of water out away from my body, it would get heavy pretty quick. But I guarantee I can hold it for a lot longer tight to my chest. So when I shoot on a leg, I want my hands up high as I can get them so that I can keep my lock tight within my strength zone. All right? Number 2, this is our second one, nice and slow. Big step, knee over toe. As soon as your knee hits the mat, get your hips forward. Here. It's going to keep you in good wrestling position. Pushing off this back foot, we're going to try and rotate 180 degrees. Push. Here. Good. One more time. Back into your wrestling stance. Guys, it's really important as you're moving around. Keep a good, positive, mental mindset. All right? This whole time that you're here, there's 2 things you should tell yourself while you're in a wrestling match. All right? 2 things. Make the next best decision. Now, you should be in your stance. I want you to take your third penetration swisher, nice and slow. Super slow. Knee over toe. Hips come forward. Here. All right? Pushing off this back foot. Let's rotate. Rotate. Here. All right? Now, I've got 2 hands on a leg. The next thing that I need to do is going to be what, guys? Elevate. So, number 4, 4th time. Let's get this swisher step down, guys. This is an important skill in wrestling. Knee over toe, hitting the mat, hips come forward. Push off and rotate. Here, good, 4. All right, last one, super slow, right leg lead. Big step, knee over toe, hips come forward. All right, pushing off this back foot and rotate. Good, 5. So, I said, you should be telling yourself 2 things. Make the next best decisions one of them, all right? It's important that when you're in a wrestling match, you stay focused on the goal, all right? And that goal at all times, besides making the next best decision, is going to be score the next points. Score the next points, all right? No matter what the score is in a match, if you keep scoring the next points, you'll either put them away or climb back in. So, 5 more times. Let's speed this up. Let's get this skill building down, all right? Knee over toe, hips come forward, push, and rotate. Good. Good job. Once again, in our stance, butt down, head up, elbows in. Nice big step, knee over toe, hips come forward, push and rotate. Good. Number 3, let's go. Butt down, head up, elbows in. Big step, knee over toe, hips come forward, push and rotate. Good. So once again, number 4, big step, knee over toe, hips come forward, push and rotate. Good. Last time, in your stance, nice and slow. Big step, knee over toe, hips come forward, push and rotate. Good. So, talking about our takedown rules, all right? 2 hands to a leg, elevate, all right? You grab a leg, elevate the leg. That's going to put you in position to score. It's going to make your opponent have to wrestle from 1 foot. Makes it really hard for them to defend, all right? So, now, what's my 3rd rule for takedowns? All right? My 3rd rule is find and keep shoulder position. All right? And our fourth rule is don't split your hands until his foot comes off the mat. Now, people always ask, Coach Lou, how high does his foot have to come off the mat before I can split my hands and look for my takedown? All right? So what I'm talking about here is, guys, we get to our swisher step. We got off the mat. We're right here. All right? Our coach is telling us to switch off for a double. All right? Or we got to our high crotch here. All right? Our coach is telling us to switch off to our double. We cannot switch our hands off from our leg until we get his foot off the mat. Once their foot's off the mat, now we can switch off and break our hands. If we break our hands while both of their feet are on the mat, we end up extended, all right? So, first couple of rules for your takedown. 2 hands to a leg, all right? Remember, whenever I get to a leg, what do I want to do?
Elevate.
Good, all right? So I want to elevate. So, 2 hands to a leg, I'm elevating off the mat, no matter what. As soon as I get to a leg, elevate my hands off the mat. That's going to help me, no matter what. Hips are in, head up, elbows in, all right? Can't split my hands until I get it off the mat. Now that allows me to split my hands, move and finish, all right? So, I'm going to give you guys 20 seconds for a water break, all right? So we've got 20 seconds for a water break, and we're going to come back. Next thing we're going to talk about, we're going to talk a little bit about more position from our feet. Then we're going to focus a little bit on some bottom work before we get out of here for the day, all right? So 30-second water break. Go ahead, time's yours. All right, guys. So, getting back to work here. All right, we're focusing on slow is smooth, smooth is fast. All right, we're talking about the how and why this is important. All right, remember, skill building. You're trying to recreate something that you either saw or did. All right, if I said what's 2 plus 2 and you said 5, I don't know that you know what 2 plus 2 is, all right? Now, if you go out there and take a shot and your head gets redirected and you can't swish your step, all right, then it doesn't mean that you know it until you can show it, all right? So that's one of the important things. Remember your 7 basic skills, okay? Stance, motion, level change, penetration, body arch, lift, and back step. All right, and remember why slow is smooth and smooth is fast works. So as we build the skill, okay, as we build the skill, the way that we become better and advance that skill is in one of 2 ways. So we either do it faster or we add something called load, which could be anything from weights to stress, all right? So what I mean by that is, if we want to get better at our swisher step, all right, instead of doing it super slow where we're going knee over toe, hips are coming forward and we're rotating, all right, we must be able to keep that same perfect position as we go really quick. Here, 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 all right? So the faster you can do it perfectly lets me know that you've built that skill better, all right? So being able to do things like that is going to demonstrate that you've built the skill and that you've actually learned, all right? Being able to stay in good position and not having to rely on unorthodox position, all right? So last technique that we're going to do today, all right, it's going to be a combination technique, kind of like this one. I want to use some compound moves here. So one of the things that I was very good at as a wrestler was, and I hate being proud of this because it is what it is, but being good on bottom, all right? So no athlete wants to be there. This isn't the place you score from in folk style, all right? This is called defense, all right? And I am a offensive-minded person. I like to put points on the board, all right? As you see, my goal, all right, my goal is to score the next points, all right? My goal is to score the next points, I think offensively. So to work on our stand-up, remember, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. We're going to work on two different motions here, all right? First one's just our normal stand-up motion. I'd like to go inside. Most guys are lining up on my left side. So I'm gonna move my elbow and my knee at the same time, all right? Now, as I do that, my opposite hand, I'm gonna run my thumb right under my elbow, all right? So what that looks like is, as I do this, I'm catching a wrist, all right? Good wrestling position, butt down, head up, elbows in, right here. Butt down, head up, elbows in. This is good wrestling position right here, all right? So what I want you guys to do is get down in your referee's position here. We're going to do about 10 or 15 of these. I want your motion to feel perfect, all right? I'm not there to watch you. I'm not there to correct your technique, or at least not yet. Don't worry, we're working on a couple different ways to do this. But so for right now, you've got to be able to fix your technique, all right? So remember, butt down, head up, back straight. I don't care how you get set. You can do toes in the mat. You can do laces flat. All right, you can hide them, you can stay tight, it doesn't matter, as long as you can get up to your feet quickly, all right? You want your hand and your arm to move at the same time. These two things are connected like a rod is in the middle, right here, all right? And as I do that, the space that I create with my step is going to allow me to catch a wrist, all right? So we catch a wrist, down, catch a wrist, down. We're going to do this 5 times. Catch a wrist, down. Nice and slow. Catch a wrist, down. Catch a wrist, down. Good. So now, imagine, how do we turn this motion into an explosive action to score points? All right? So if I can move everything on my left side in unison, and I can catch the wrist, then I should be able to get to my feet and seal off a side. So imagine how this looks in real time. It's something like this. And I'm already out, all right? So imagine this guy's lined up on my left, and I'm trying to get some motion here off the whistle. All right, so I'm going to come right up. I'm catching the wrist, and then I'm turning and creating space with my hips, all right? So right here, let's do 5 really quick. Step up, step down. 1, 2, 3. Remember, I'm bringing my wrist right underneath my elbow. 4, right here, all right? 5. And on this last one, come up to your feet. Good. All right, so now we did 5, just coming to our step. Now we're going to do 5, coming all the way up to our feet. Step. Step. Slow it down, all right? So step. 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 And one more. Step. Now, how does this look when we do it fast? I've done it a little bit just because it's so natural. All right, it's smooth to me. I've smoothed out the rough edges of this technique. So a little bit quicker, and then we're cutting, all right? So, back down in your referee's position. All right, up, up, and turn. Remember, we're catching this wrist. The motion here is a wrist capture and keep away. All right, this is our sealing off technique. This hip comes out, we're cutting to the side that we sealed off, all right? Once again, Nice and slow. Step, step, seal, and cut. Now, what happens if our opponent creates some other motion for us, all right? We start to come up, whether they pull us, we end up here. Our opponent does a changeover off the whistle, and we end up here. So, now, I don't know about most of you, all right? But in my household, we learn about God. So, the one thing, this is the way that I learned this move a long time ago, so this is the way that I teach it. Please don't be offended by the words that I use here, all right? I just want you guys to understand the technique. So, as part of our stand-up motion, all right, the one thing that we can't do is put our hands on the mat, all right? We want to keep our hands off the mat as much as possible. So whenever our hips start to open up towards the ceiling, all right, two things want to happen. We don't ever want to sit on the mat, because now we can't move. So we want to be able to bring our heels to our butts, all right? And whenever we can bring our heels to our butts, we do what's called a praise Jesus stand-up, all right? So this praise Jesus stand-up is here. Our hands are up, our head is up, we're looking to the sky, trying to get our escape, all right? So imagine our motion, our initial motion is same arm, same leg, catching the wrist. What happens if our opponent beats this motion, okay? It breaks us down. All right, immediately my heels got to come in, my hands come up, and I praise Jesus as I get to my feet. All right? So, here's how we're going to practice this motion. Nice and slow. Remember, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. All right? A couple of other coaches have already shown a changeover technique. So you can use this from either way. The way I'm going to show it is from getting broken down off of my initial motion. All right? I'm coming up here, head up, butt down, elbows in. My opponent beats this position, whether with a hip pull, whether a chop pride jam where he puts my arm down, all right? Whether with good forward pressure and my head comes down. Anything that happens and then my hips hit the mat. My heel comes to my butt. This is important because this is where my lift comes from when I praise Jesus. All right? I'm pushing off the side of my foot and my knee. Here. All right? Everything's up. I'm getting back to the lock. All right? Remember, slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. All right? Now, a couple of different rules about this bottom technique. All right? Whenever this guy starts to create motion and my hips are low and to the mat. Some of our rules. Now, we're going to talk about these as part of a scrambling lesson, all right? When I define a scramble, it's all of the technique that happens in between scores, all right? So a scramble is, I started off in good position in my stance. I took a good shot. My opponent countered with good technique. And while I'm trying to find good position, everything that happens now is a scramble. And so, the rules of scrambling, all right? And I've seen someone post this to Mr. Ben Askren's page. I don't know what his rules are. I would love to find out, so Ben Askren, if you're watching, send me a message, tell me what you think. So, first rule, high head wins the scramble. That means whoever's chin is above their opponent's chin is going to have a better chance of winning that scramble. Second rule is going to be inside hip down, outside hip up. Okay? So, this is important for all of your wrestling positions. All right? So, we're working on our stand-up here. All right? We've got this motion down. Our opponent's creating motion back down to the mat, and we need to get up to our feet as quick as possible. All right? Our heels come to our butt. All right? If you could sit your heel right underneath of your hips. All right? And we're going to push off of this foot. Praise Jesus as we come up. All right? So, let's do 10 of these right now. All right? Let's get this motion going so that we can see what it feels like nice and slow. Imagine here, we get pulled to our butts. Heels come in. Praise Jesus as we come up. All right? You've got to be an athlete here. All right? Be an athlete. Be able to come to your feet from this position. Either side. Either side, you've got to be able to move right here. All right? And just like we did for our swisher step, all right? Anytime we start to get here, we want to bring our hips forward hard. There. That's going to put us back in good wrestling position. Imagine we're in on a shot, all right? We want to get our hips involved in the party. Bring our hips in, get our head up, all right? So, 2 more, all right? So we're going to start with number 2 right here. Step. Pull back down. Heel comes in. Praise Jesus. 2. Back down here, ready? Pulled. Right to your butt, all right? Heel comes in. Praise Jesus. 3. Now, you can practice this motion like this as well. It won't bother me. Imagine you get pulled right to your hip, okay? Heels come in. Praise Jesus. 4. Okay? 2 different ways you can practice this technique. From here, you get beat. Heels come in. Praise Jesus. 5. All right? Or your opponent beats you off the whistle. Here. Praise Jesus. 6. Guys, remember, I'm still keeping these basic, good wrestling position things in my brain. All right? Got broken down to my hip. Heel came in. Praise Jesus. Number 7. Right here. Creating the same motion. Same arm, same leg. Catching the wrist. Our opponent beats it. Pulls us down. Heels come in. Praise Jesus. 8. And remember, just like wrestling, we accept anyone. So you can praise Allah. You can praise any God that you'd like. All right? You can praise the wrestling gods. For me, one of those might be Dave Schultz. All right? So coming up here, all right? My hips get pulled. I get broken back down to the mat. He broke my position. This is unorthodox wrestling position, all right? I need to get something underneath my hips so that my head doesn't go below my opponent's, okay? Heels come in tight to my butt. Now I start to get some upward lift here. Praise Jesus. Number 9. All right, so last one. Remember, slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. All right, so I want you to hit this last one as quickly as you can with perfect technique. All right? So imagine here, and we're up. Praise Jesus, number 10. All right? So, we've talked about our swisher step, all right, which is very important. Being able to keep our head up, keep our chest up when our opponent tries to counter our initial shot. We talked about why slow is smooth, smooth is fast is important. All right? So, one thing that we have to remember here is if you want to be a good wrestler, there are rules. Okay? I'm a big music fan. Don't know about you. I'm from Philadelphia. I listen to rap. I like an artist called Meek Mill. He's got a song that's called Levels. All right? There's levels to this. So, you must know the rules to break the rules. Okay? So, a couple of these other rules that we talked about. All right? Some things that you must know and be able to implement before you're allowed to break them. Okay? So, a couple of those things when we talk about our 7 basic skills. Alright? Another thing that we cannot do is when we're on our feet, we cannot reach with our lead leg hand. This is a no-no. Alright? If I'm a right foot lead, I cannot reach with my lead leg hand. I have eliminated my first 3 lines of defense, which are going to be my hands, my head, and my forearms. Alright? I've eliminated those 3 things. Now, how many guys at the college level, at the Division I level, do you see reaching with their lead leg hand? I know you're going to tell me a lot, right? You see guys reaching here a lot. Okay? At the international senior level, all right? Check out my cousin, Jordan Oliver. One of the things that he does a lot is he reaches with this lead leg hand because he knows the rules. Okay? Because you know the rules, now you can break them. And the only way, remember how we talked about at the beginning of the lesson, the only way that I know that you know what 2 plus 2 equals is if you can tell me. Alright? And so the only way that I know that you know not to reach with your lead leg hand is to stay in good position. Okay? The whole goal of your motion in wrestling should be to get your opponent into unorthodox bad position. Alright? So I can't reach with my lead leg hand, so I've got to reach with my backhand. When I level change, my head has to stay up. I can't level change with my head down. Alright? Know the rules. Alright? To break the rules. Whenever I take a shot, remember, I'm taking 2 hands to the leg, and the first thing I'm trying to do is elevate. Alright? So when I take my penetration step, knee over toe, hips come forward. Alright? Imagine my opponent reacts, and I need to change here, all right? He sprawled back. He stuffed my head, all right? My head went down, all right? My hands hit the mat. So I've got to be able, there goes my swisher step again. That same motion just showed back up. And now I go to elevate, get my head back up, okay? So we've got to understand you must know the rules first before you can break them, all right? And that's where this slow is smooth and smooth is fast comes in. If you cannot demonstrate a technique nice and slow, all right, so imagine I'm going to take a right-handed knee pull high crotch, and I'm going to swisher step around the corner, nice and slow, right-handed, high crotch, knee exchange, swisher step, knee exchange, swisher step. All right? That's going to look like a nice knee pull backside finish. All right? Nice and slow it looks here. Knee pull, knee exchange, swisher. Nice and slow, but nice and fast. Here's how my motion looks. Step, knee exchange, step, knee exchange, drive to my feet. Step, knee exchange, drive to my feet. So, to be fast, to be good, all right, to really know a technique, you must be able to hit it slow first. All right? Remember, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Okay? The things that you should be thinking about while you're out there in a wrestling match, all right? Things you should be thinking while you're in practice. We're wrapping up, guys, so grab your drinks, all right? Take out your notebooks. Let's finish up with this lesson here. All right, so the things that I want to be thinking. I have to be thinking. I have to be positive the whole time, all right? A wrestling match is a finite amount of time, whether it be 4.5 minutes for you little guys Whether it be 6 minutes for you high school guys, all right? Whether it be 7 minutes for you college guys, the thing is, positive out equals positive results. So, what does that mean? The input has to be positive. The input comes from you. Things like this are what you should be saying. I can, and I will. All right? I can and I will. You're in a match. I need to get a takedown. I can, all right, and I will. All right? Two statements, two declarative statements that put you in control. I can and I will. All right? Make the next best decision. Make the next best decision. You gave up a takedown. So what? Make the next best decision. Don't give up back points. Okay? You gave up a reversal. Make the next best decision. Get an escape. You got headlocked to your back and pinned. Make the next best decision. All right? Decide that you're going to get better right then. Okay? So, you want to be talking positive in so you can get positive out, positive results. Okay? Positive in, I can and I will. Make the next best decision. All right? Score the next point. No matter what the score is. You're down 14-0, score the next point. 4-5 match, score the next point. All right? Positive in, positive out. The last thing is have your brain trick your body. So, your mind is the most powerful tool you have as a wrestler. All right? And your body will do whatever your mind tells it to do. So, positive in, positive out. What that means is, when I'm out there in a wrestling match, I give up a takedown. Ugh, this can't happen. My head can't go down. I can't give up. Can't lay here. All right? Always, always, always present fight and positive body language. Positive body language is going to be, my head's up, my chest is up, I'm smiling, I'm excited to be there. Wrestling is fun, all right? Wrestling is fun because you're building a skill and you're doing something that you like. It should be positive. Positive in, positive out, get you positive results. The things that you want to be saying to yourself, I can and I will, all right? Some of these motions are a little complicated, especially for some of you younger guys, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds who don't have some of this core strength, all right? When I'm hitting a swisher step, this requires core strength here, a little bit of balance and stability to be able to rotate and keep all of these good positional skills intact, all right? Being able to hit this quickly, all right, requires that. And so if you're not getting it yet, all right? The word can't does not exist. Can't does not exist. I just haven't done it yet. So I can and I will. All right? I can and I will. So that's going to be the last thing that I have today, guys. Remember, know the rules to break the rules. All right? Focus on position. There are 3 things that make a good wrestler: position, technique, and strength. Strength will balance out in the end, I promise you. Whether you're in high school, It will balance out in the end. Focus right now on position, which is all of the places that you want to be, and technique, which is how you get there. All right? So make sure that you have positive in, positive out. Now, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much for tuning in to this first wrestling lesson today. All right? Next lesson is going to be Wednesday, April 1st. Okay? Wednesday, April 1st. I'll keep this 9 o'clock slot as long as people say it works for them, because I want you guys tuning in, getting your workout in first thing in the morning. All right? Start your day off on a positive note. All right? So, next lesson. Next lesson will be Wednesday, April 1st. Oh 0900 Eastern Standard Time. Alright? And the title of that lesson will be How to Get Better at Home Without a Partner or wrestling mats. Okay? So, that lesson, please tune in. I'm going to teach you how to build your Adams machine, right? So an Adams machine is a tool that's used in wrestling rooms to shoot against the wall and practice your hand fighting. We're going to make one of those. I'm going to show you how to make a wrestling mat at your house with stuff that I guarantee you have sitting around, all right? Now, will it be perfect? No. But will it get the job done? Yes, I promise you. All right, I'm going to show you some things, some ways to practice your hand fighting, all right, some ways to practice your top pressure, which are things that I've heard people say you cannot practice alone, all right? I grew up in Philadelphia. I had no wrestling partners. My closest practice was 45 minutes to an hour away, and so I had to get better by myself. So these are some of the things that I use. So tune in next Wednesday, April 1st, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about how to get better at home without a partner or a wrestling match. And the last thing, the most important thing for today, guys, all right, the reason that I'm doing most of this stuff, all right, is I want to help people. I want to make a difference. And so I want to make sure that we're talking about the things that matter the most. So right now, if you're out there, if you liked this lesson, all right, you can, of course, donate to me. Here are my PayPal, my Venmo, my Cash App, all right? The money that you send to me, I will be donating, all right, to Joe Heskett's Rehabilitation GoFundMe, all right? So, the link on this is GoFundMe. GoFundMe.com /F /Joe Heskett rehabilitation. So, if you liked what you saw here, all right, go to that page. Please help Joe out. He is one of the best people in wrestling, and he needs our help. All right, if you liked what you saw, please, my PayPal, my Venmo, my Cash App, all right? Throw $1, throw $2, throw $5, throw $10, all right? It's going to go help a friend, fellow wrestler, all right? This is going to be the end of our first lesson, all right? Please, if you need anything, hit me up on Facebook, all right? Facebook Messenger. You can hit me up through my Facebook. There's an Instagram page. I'm going to be looking to kind of get this out on a couple different platforms as we move forward. Considering that we're going to be at least doing this to the end of the month as everyone stays locked indoors. Stay tuned to our 12:30 to 1:30 all-star lineup that we have going for the rest of this month. I have about half of the month booked out with literally some of the best talent in the wrestling world. All right, we've got Lee Kemp, three-time world champion. A three-time world champion, all right? You want to learn from him. We've got Gary Mayad, one of, if not the best wrestling minds in the country. All right, we've got our assistant national team coach, Jessica Medina. All right, we've got the head of the Beat the Streets program in New York, Emma Randall. We've got Colin Palmer from Ohio coming up later this week. Jody Strittmatter, the head coach of the #1 wrestling club in the country right now, Young Guns. They were looking to win 5 NCAA titles as a club. All right, he's coming into you live Wednesday from 12:30 to 1:30. All right, we've got Cliff Fretwell lined up. We've got some really great people, so make sure you're checking in there. You're checking back on the page. Tell people about it. All right, let your friends know we're going to get better here over this month. All right, and keep checking back in with me, all right? Class is out of session. Go get better.